Oh.
What?
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have like the technological capability to record it. It took me a while to find the beat.
That's okay. That's all. I'm so excited. Okay.
David got it.
I got this.
Bear with me. Read along, please. Snow flurries down in Camden on a Friday. This was Jimmy's designated Saturday, Sunday, and whatever the fuck came next. The Green Planet trapped and there was no resisting its ex. Had his wicked eye locked on a chick named Millie, but his nuts were cold because of his mom, Billie. Webster's definition of a world-class junkie. Jimmy was home watching after hour. His sense of freedom had collapsed like a twin tower. She loved intoxication more than Keith Richards. Sniffed the cocaine up in a vicious series of blizzards. Billie knew she was and will always be dead broke. So her method of getting stoned was hardly ever coke. She felt that crystal methamphetamine was her true ally. When hit from her lovely pipe and she'd get out on a high, like George Washington getting his dick sucked on the 4th of July. She get up once during the day around a 7:45. The only time she broke free of her chemical slave state. So she could fix Jimmy's supper, ramen noodles on a plate. She'd give him a kiss on the head, and she was right out the door. And she wouldn't be back until 6 in the morning. She'd come home with smeared makeup and damaged pride, thinking of how she could have been somebody's beautiful bride. Jimmy and Billie, they never knew swell living. That poor son and his mother, they only knew hell living. The biggest bums on any American block. Societal scum you step over on the sidewalk. She smoked a crystal stone until her eyes turned to glass, thinking of 1982 when she had so much class. Jimmy was so bitter ever since he'd grown up, blaming the man with no face who had never shown up. Yet Jimmy remained grateful throughout this distortion, because being a bastard meant he wasn't an abortion. He loved his mother, he knew it was anything but easy raising up a young man in a concrete jungle of graffiti. Jimmy told her not to worry, she'd done her very best. It was always so hard for the two of them to digest, that with God's good grace, they were simply not blessed. Dante's 9 circles were like tracks in their streets, raced by Division I drug addiction athletes. Growing up in a city that defines belligerent, Billie always told him things would be so different if the poor child had gotten a chance to know his father. But he walked out when Jimmy was a titty sucking toddler. She said he owned an apartment way out in Alpine. But the truth is, it had been quite some long time. The only thing about him now that she really knew was his address was 24 Joseph Avenue. She saw his face daily on the refrigerator. She knew him as the man long ago that had made her fall in love as they danced on the floor in the round. Yet this cold-hearted man did not plan to stick around. They met on a hot Saturday night in 1982. She wore a tight white dress with a slight hue of blue. She was a unique vision, truly one of a kind. And for the past few nights lingering on one man's mind, he walked up to her from across the dance floor. But she was the one he was caught up in a trance for. He said, "My name is Michael, but my friends, they call me Mike. Now what do you plan to do with the rest of your night?" He held his hand out for a dance, which she quickly accepted. She had never expected to be so shamefully dejected. See, Mike's reputation never made it in through the doors. Concealed his knack of treating lassies like whores. After weeks of unanswered calls and lonely nights spent, came Billie 9 months of tears, anguish, and torment. She would be somebody's mother, and that child would become the most unfortunate human under the goddamn sun. After Jimmy had been born, she showed back up to confront him. She took a pick of her baby and stuck her right up in front of him. Mike's eyes were like Jimmy's, and Jimmy's eyes were like Mike's, but this man's heart was cold as a freezer of Klondike. So he denied Billie's claim that he was the one, saying the kid in the photo was not his son, and so Billie's only choice was to just walk away, shacked up in public housing of Camden, NJ. 17 years later, Jimmy's on his way home from school, thinking of how much he loathes this ghetto cesspool. He comes in through the front, sets his bag on the floor, checks the kitchen clock, says it's 3:45. Billie's passed out on the couch. Jimmy just assumes she's in one of her common chemically induced tunes. He knew when it knocked, she would always let the dope in. And then he notices her motherfucking eyes are open. He rushes to her side, shakes her in her place, runs his hands across her pale, chilled, and barren face. He feels her pulse, praying for a beat, but her heart is as still as any dead man in the street. Jimmy and Billie, they never knew swell living. That poor son and his mother, they only knew hell living. The biggest bums on any American block. Societal scum you step over on the sidewalk. Billie smoked a crystal stone until her eyes turned to glass, thinking of 1982 when she had so much class. Jimmy was just so bitter ever since he'd grown up, blaming the man with no face who had never shown up. Jimmy sinks to the floor, ripping out hair from his head. The woman who had given him life is now dead. Billie lays there, her favorite pipe in her stiff hand, more dead than that blonde dude from that 90s band. Jimmy rolls onto his back, staring up at the ceiling with a new, unfamiliar, very dangerous feeling. All the bullshit of his life would be traced back to one man, the reason he never knew the smell of a family sedan. So he gets up and struts right into his room, willingly allowing the hate in his heart to consume his mind as he pulls out a bloodthirsty Glock given to him by his dealing homeboy named Rock. Throws on a windbreaker and grabs a quick pack of smokes. Before he leaves, puts on a pair of black locs. Jimmy runs out right into the blistering cold. Damn it to hell, everything he'd ever been told in grade school, like two wrongs do not make a right. He'd be dispelling that motherfucking myth tonight. He was never very fast, so the kid takes the bus, given time for the voices in his head to discuss everything he would say and everything he would do. This is what 17 years of the bastard life had come to, paying respects to his daddy that were long overdue, but keeping his eyes peeled for Joseph Avenue. Pulls the cord on the bus, then steps into the streets of a culture whiter than Ku Klux Klan sheets. People named Oliver, Connor and Maxwell. He was used to Tyrone and Malik and Terrell, while he and his mother were left in an impoverished hell. Now when Cracker in Daddy's town had stepped foot into jail. Right now his blood could not keep up with his breathing, as his Glock and his conscience came to an agreement. Jimmy scopes out the mailbox labeled 24. A lovely garden will lead him right up to the front door. Hops the white picket fence and steps onto the porch. Snow falling but his head is hot like a torch. He stands there shaking in his shades and his jeans. Fuck sweating bullets, this kid's dripping magazines. Takes a deep breath and then knocks 5 times. One for every year that it took him to realize that he did have a daddy. He just didn't give a shit and said fuck that woman with whom I was intimate. And right about now Michael answers the knock, slipping the key into his $500 lock. Unaware that this young man was armed with a Glock, and unaware that this young man was made from his cock, I expected Jimmy to open up his mouth and talk. What do you want, kid? I've got things that I'm doing. Sounds of Polo and hookers from the other room, and Michael looks of good health, happiness, and wealth. Living life only giving fucks and shits for himself. Listen, kid, unless you're handing out free rubbers, I've got no time for you nosy knocking motherfuckers. I'm putting down nice work on some fine asses. He turns to leave till Jimmy takes off his glasses, and the world around Michael suddenly ceased to exist, because he saw a young man with the same eyes as his. There was no running from the fact that this was his child, of the woman that he had so deceptively beguiled. But Michael wasn't a man, he was only a coward, not about to let this lifestyle he loved be devoured. Get off my stoop, little man, I'm not gonna argue. Besides, tell me, who even the fuck are you? Jimmy glares at the man whom his mother knew was the one, fighting back tears as he reaches for his gun. My mom was Billie Jean, and I'm your motherfucking son. And he takes a fatal shot that cannot be undone. Michael falls back, dying in his silken nightgown. Then a pack of quality hookers comes running down. They swim into the streets, screaming real loud and crying. Now Billie Jean's soul was forever undying. Jimmy looks into the eyes of his dead old man, wondering if he deserved a shortened lifespan. He was no father, but perhaps a decent human who got lost on the way, unaware of his doing. But there was no use in Jimmy questioning his decision, because the Reaper has never once allowed a revision. And then Jimmy begins to wish suddenly he was dreaming, when he hears pigs snorting and red sirens screaming. All squad of gangsters with shiny golden badges, pointing their weapons ahead. In dense huddled masses, they shout their commands. Listen, kid, freeze, for all they see is a black teenager with a piece. And so without hesitation, they barrage his fucking chest with shots condemning his soul to eternal arrest. Lead pumps into his heart, rounder after round. Blood tosses his ass young right onto the ground. Police Berettas kick back, one after the other. He grows still like his own deceased mother. And so right beside his father, JimmyJean dies with the same peculiar look in their similar eyes. Jimmy and Billie, they never knew swell living. That poor son and his mother, they only knew hell living. The biggest bums on any American block. Societal scum you step over on the sidewalk. Billie smoked a crystal stone until her eyes hit the glass, thinking of 1982 when she had so much class. Jimmy was so bitter ever since he'd grown up, blaming the man with no face who had never shown up. And so fathers and sons continue to inhabit the earth, condemning the same women who had given them birth. And thus the man and boys stay killing each other, forgetting that this world was made by the mother. That's it.